Hi, welcome to SportX, where we talk all things relating to the ever-evolving business of sport and the people that makes things happen in this vibrant industry. I'm Gerrit Davids, founder of TalkX TV, where we host SportX as a content channel, and I'm joined today by Wafeekah Begg-Jassiem, legal manager at the South African Institute for Drug-Free Sport South Africa, or SAIDS in short. Welcome to SportX and the segment hashtag What I Do in Sport. Let's start off with by describing to us what is it that you do in the industry.
Morning, Gerrit. Thank you for having me and bestowing this honor for me to speak out to the public and an online platform to explain what my role is in sport. So I am the legal manager at SAIDS. My core function is to prosecute athletes and athlete personnel for anti-doping rule violations that occur in sport. So what is an anti-doping rule violation? There are 11. I'll give you an example. An athlete passes urine to a doping control officer. The results go to a lab. It is then returned with the results of negative or positive. If it's a positive, we will be informed what type of banned substance in sport. So, majority test positive for steroids. So, examples of that is exogenous testosterone or stanozolol. This is a strong indication that the athlete is most likely doping in sport with intention to get an advantage over the competitors. So I will handle the prosecutions. On average, we have about 50 cases a year. And then I'm also responsible for ensuring the smooth operation and administration of adjudication process. So I have to make sure that our adjudication process is run operationally and institutionally independent. So I just make sure there is a panel. That panel is appointed through someone else. When there is a hearing, someone else independently, a registrar, will request the panel members to then chair and adjudicate the case, and I will run the prosecutions. I am also responsible for educating the tribunal panel members and the appeal board members on anti-doping and other relevant cases or latest trends in the industry, cases that perhaps go to the court of arbitration for sport. And then in-house, I do other service level agreements and give support to our other departments like the doping control department, finance and education. And then there are other things such as reviewing internal policies and making sure that the anti-doping rules for South Africa and our legislation is aligned and compliant with the World Anti-Doping Code. So that's me in a nutshell, but I carry many hats from time to time. There's always something urgent that also needs to be attended to.
Yeah, great. That sounds like a very, very big nutshell. Multitasking within all these different sub portfolios. And it looks like you pretty much have a full day every day for that matter. And so throughout your career, what's really fueled your passion for the law? What are you striving to achieve? And how do you use your knowledge to elevate your entire career experience within this ever-changing field of regulatory dictates?
Well, I think what really drives me and what I'm very passionate about is the education part. So I get a high from lecturing results management and what I do and sharing those experiences with everyone and anyone. So I would get from time to time invited to lecture at universities, and my strategy is more storytelling. When you storytell an athlete's experience from the time they are notified till the time their case is concluded, I believe the most important thing in the feel-good experience is knowing that they were treated with respect and dignity throughout the process. It's not for me about nailing the athlete, and because not everyone is a cheat. We need to be reminded of that, and there is still a human process through all of this. So that is what I'm very passionate about, is speaking about these things.
Yeah. So talking about the process that unfolds, it's kind of like a hidden situation to most of sports persons, sports fans, and the media, like as to what really transpire within the process once a athlete has been charged for doping.
Okay, so first, the athlete will be notified of an allegation. So we will inform them on this date, at this time, you provided your urine sample. So it would have been in competition or out of competition at their home. So they will know about that in any case. And then we'll say, well, the lab reported this substance found in your system. You are afforded 15 days to respond. You are afforded your rights to request a B sample analysis. You can go in person or appoint a witness, or the lab can appoint a witness independently for the B sample analysis. What the B sample does is it confirms the results in the A sample. It's basically the same urine, just split into two different bottles, and they are both sealed for a period of time. And then also, if they suspect that something was amiss at the lab, they can also request a laboratory documentation package, which is the full chain of custody of everything that happens in the lab when they do the analysis of the urine. And then we inform them that this is the possible consequences that could happen if you do not cooperate with SAIDS, and that they are also afforded the opportunity. We offer what is called substantial assistance. So if they are aware and know about any doping related activities with other athletes or coaches or any sort of sporting personnel, they are welcome to share that with us. It will be anonymous, and we will go back and investigate the veracity and credibility of what the athlete says. And if we do find concrete evidence supporting what this athlete says, we will write to the World Anti-Doping Agency and say, look, what this athlete is saying, they're cooperating, it is true, we verified it, here's the evidence. They are facing a 4-year sanction, but let's suspend a year or 2 year or 6 months in support of the cooperation. And then obviously after that 15-day process is complete, the athlete would supply us with the evidence. In the normal case, either it's a statement or supporting documents, then we formally charge them. Then we say, this is the case against you. Do you want to go to a hearing? Yes or no? You are afforded those rights. You are afforded to a lawyer to represent you. Do you want to settle this matter? If you are facing a 4-year sanction for this violation, we are offering you 3 years. You need to sign an acceptance of consequence form. So it is reduced. But if you don't sign within 20 days, we have to proceed to a hearing, and then you will face the maximum of 4 years. So that's an example. The athlete explained all their rights and consequences. Further consequences are publication. So they must know that once this case is concluded, we are allowed to post about the case and the results on our website and in our annual report. And if they want to go to a hearing, they sign a hearing request form and they say, look, I want it on this date, this time, either in person or virtually. And then we have a registrar who has his own firm. He operates independently from us, and then he will then appoint the tribunal panel members from a list. And then we will follow that adjudication process. I will attend, or my legal associate will attend. The whole hearing is recorded, then it's transcribed. The transcription is shared with all the parties to make sure that what's recorded is accurate and correct. And then the panel goes and they hear the case, and then they decide on a decision. And the athlete, if they are not satisfied with the results, they are welcome to exercise the right to appeal within 21 days. Depending on whether the athlete is a national or international athlete, international, national, they can appeal directly to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. If it's recreation and national, they can appeal to the SAIDS appeal board, and those members are appointed by the minister every 5 years.
Thank you very much for demystifying that process. And further, looking back at your legal career path to date, what is the one piece of advice you would give to someone just starting out in this sector, not as a legal person, but somebody that says, I want to apply my legal skills within the sports industry? What piece of advice would you give them? And also, did you have mentors, and what is your thinking around mentorship?
Well, I would first start with the mentorship. I believe it is very important to give the next person an opportunity. I was mentored by Prof. Rian Klute, Michael Murphy, and because they saw something in me, maybe the next person didn't. I believe you extend that privilege to the next person, and afford them that opportunity as well. Always believe in someone when allow them to follow their dreams, their passions. 10 years, 11 years ago, I didn't have it as easy as it is today to get into this industry. I was turned down so many times by so many people, laughed in the face. And the fact that I had to go overseas to get a master's degree overseas and come back was my way of proving myself. And even after that, as you know, in football, still wasn't enough. And yeah, eventually I forged my own future, and that is why I am in the anti-doping space for like 7 years now. So I do mentorships. We have actually a agreement with a school in Barcelona where it's a year program, and I actually have an intern now for the next 6 months from Kenya. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. And just as a concluding remark, I know you have got this quotation on your bio from Thomas Jefferson. I often use it. I was had quite a bit of a chuckle there, because I do believe that you need to be principled in certain things and flexible on other things. So just as a concluding remark to the next generation, what would your wise words be?
With regards to link to
the
Thomas
generation.
Jefferson.
Yes.
You caught me off guard.
Putting you on the spot now, yeah. It's you talked about perseverance.
Yes, yes, perseverance. Again, people respect you more when you are authentic and you are real. And when you stand up for something you see as wrong, don't be shy or not to speak up. You'll be surprised the support you will get in the room from speaking up and saying what is wrong and what needs to be done. And don't be afraid to call people out. We need to do that. We need to be direct. Sometimes people think the meaning of integrity is keeping the sport clean and values and principles. But the other side of what integrity also means is, being straightforward and telling this person, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Obviously in a polite manner, not being aggressive, as opposed to going to other people and bad-mouthing that person. That's also another side of the coin of what integrity means. So, yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure if you had wanted to know about what's emerging on the horizon, possible trends in anti-doping.
Yes, great. Yeah, no, good. Talk to us about that. If there are changes, regulatory speaking, and the like.
Well, there would be the World Anti-Doping Code review over the next 2 years, for the 1st of January 2027. What we do identify in terms of future issues, or maybe even current issues now in anti-doping, is gene doping and artificial intelligence. So how do we use artificial intelligence to assist us in detecting doping at earlier stages? And with regards to gene doping, how do we use AI to detect directly detect transgene and RNA manipulations? So the integration of that and the strategy to effect and determine that through screening methods is something that we look at through scientific groups globally.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And I would be a keen follower to see how that pans out in terms of what's on the horizon. And for your career in the near future, how do you plan to stay ahead of the game?
Well, like I said, being part of scientific groups, continuing our relationships with national anti-doping agencies overseas, attending those conferences, and maintaining a good working relationship with the anti-doping agency itself, even though we do butt heads from time to time. We all have the same purpose in sports. So yeah, that would be it.
Okay, no, great. Thanks. That was Wafeekah Begg-Jassiem, legal manager at the South African Institute for Drug-Free Sports, or SAIDS in short. Thank you for your time and insights, which is very much appreciated. That's where we will leave it for now. And thank you for watching #What I Do in Sport on SportX channel, which is hosted on TalkX TV. Until next time.